I'd like to welcome tonight Jalen Jennings to my podcast, running back, and I think one of the top running backs in the class of 2022. I think so. I looked at film, and we'll talk about that later. Jalen is a 5'10", 190 pounds, good size, and he plays at Harvest Prep. He put up some huge numbers. Okay, I'm just getting him out of track season, track practice, and he's drinking the liquids and all that stuff to get refreshed. So, Jalen, how are you tonight?
Doing great. Just got the Purdue offer. I'm feeling blessed.
How's track practice going?
It's going good. Trying to get my speed back. It's been a while since we ran track, for COVID.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you missed all last year, right?
Yes.
You're a sprinter, I would assume, right?
Of course.
Okay, how about on the relay? I'm trying to guess. You run the anchor or third?
I'll let you guess. Which one?
What's that?
I'll let you guess. Which one you think?
Well, probably anchor.
Yes,
but
sir.
A tough guy like you, they put that slow guy at 3, but he's so tough. So I know. What's the best time you were 100 meters last year or 2 years ago? What was your best time as a sophomore?
I was a freshman. It was 11 flat.
11 flat. That's good. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I must be off tonight. We're talking about track. What's it like to play 2 sports? You promote that?
I mean, yeah, especially track. It helps you with football. So, running track is going to help you with football. I feel like I would promote that very much.
I agree. And you get a little rest in between the 2 sports. Did you run indoor track this year?
No, sir. Lifting.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I like both sports like that. And I think there's nothing better than being on the anchor or lining up in the 100 meters and having your name called and you're in the 4th or 5th lane.
Yeah, I'm always in 4.
That's the fast guys. That's the fast guys. They're probably in 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's talk football a little bit. You're a running back. I better get this first. What's the best thing about football? What's the best thing?
I say the contact, because football, you can let your anger out all types of way you want to. Like, at least make it legal, but you got to take that on the football field, and it's actually a good way. And then it also gets you smarter, even though football is like an easy sport, but developing playbooks, especially if you play defense, you got to read the offense as well as offense, though. You got to read the defense. So it gets you smarter in the brain. This is overall good.
I think it's smartness, and you have really good vision.
Sure, of course. According
to the video I watched this morning. Okay, you have good vision. We'll talk about that later. Okay, come back at you. What's the worst thing about football? High school football. What's the worst?
The worst? This is going to go into just stuff like 2-a-days camps. Like,
I'm just messing with you. That's good. Okay. Now tell me about the running back position. What's the hardest part about that?
I'll say the hardest part is my Harvest Prep is a running school, so I mainly get the ball probably about 5 to 10 times a possession, depending on how we're going, and getting hit every play. You got to take hits. Like, you can take a small hit, good hit, then you got to run fast, run slow. So it's like your endurance, and then you taking hits as well. So it's just like being a running back, you got to be built for it. It's definitely different.
That's good. Let's stop a minute. Okay. Now, what's the best part of being a running back?
I'd say the best part is all right. As a running team, the best part is you get the ball a lot. And then I like pass.
That's good.
Quarterback. I like getting the ball. I like scoring for my team, being in production, like being the leader. So I feel like that's the best part of being a running back on a running team. But there also is passing team, but you still most of it. So running back is just an overall great position for me.
That's really good. Now, what do you have to improve on as a running back? We talked about that, I think. But what do you think? One more thing to improve on.
I'll say my physicality. I feel like I am a juking type of running back more than running people over. So that's one thing I want to work on this year.
Okay, here's what I would tell you. You do a really good job. You have the speed to get to the outside, but thank goodness you don't look to go there first. You're always looking inside out, which is huge if you're an old coach like me, because a lot of running backs, fast guys, they want to get to the sidelines. But you seem to, I'm going to blow smoke up your nose here in a minute, but you seem to run to that, but you have vision to cut back inside almost always. You're looking to cut off that tackle or tight end hole, right out there. And the other thing is, and I know you probably know this, watching video, you can take a hit.
Yeah, of course.
You don't, and I don't mean that to be, but some guys can't. Some guys want to be bold and be tough. And there are times, if it's 4th and 1, be tough. But you've got to learn to take the hit and keep going. And that's what you do. Those are two things I thought. I'm sure everybody's told you the same thing. But you kind of bounce. You're not stiff, and that's important. And you had a nice catch out of the backfield. Now, here's what I would do if I were you. I would learn how to you've got to get a little bit better burst at the end. At the end. Because some guys caught you and they shouldn't have. But it's got to be that, and that's hard. But you still have a lot of good qualities, trust me. Okay, let's get away from football for a little bit, because I'll get caught up in trying to coach you here. Tell me, as you look back, Jalen, who's been a lot of influence on you? Who's been influential to you?
All right, I'll give two people. First, my grandfather. Ever since I was young, he always took me into the backyard and would practice football. We started with practicing throwing the ball because he thought I could be a QB. Then he started teaching me the route tree, our receiver. He was a running back in his time, so he eventually started teaching me running back, but it started off with quarterback and wide receiver first. And then second is my cousin EJ. He was like the main person I looked up to while growing up. He went to Hilliard-Davidson. He went to Ashland but got kicked out. But he was like, his stats, he used to have like 6 touchdowns a game. Not a game, but he had 6 touchdowns in a game. And then like he would average like 3 or 4 a game. So I would always look up like him one day. But now that I'm doing it now, I'm like, I'm doing it, but I'm about to be better still. So
that's good. Now come back and say, what advice would you give to a freshman coming out let's say August or in August? What would you tell him? A freshman running back or a freshman, what would you tell them?
I would say when you're doing sprints and anything, always try to be the first, even if you're not the fastest, at least show you're giving the most effort. And then also lift as much as, not tear down your body, but lift as much as you can so you can be ahead of the group. Because by the time it's going to pay off, whether it don't pay off as a freshman, it's going to pay off sophomore, junior year. You're going to get varsity play time over seniors. So I feel like that's all you should do as a freshman, grind way harder than anybody in your class and people above you.
That's good. That's good. Okay, now, are there any like football players or athletes that you kind of think are really good, you kind of maybe mold yourself after?
Barry Sanders. I'm more like him because he's like a little jukey running back in his day. But like when I say remember I said I want to be more physical? Yeah. I got that of Marshawn Lynch and Saquon Barkley. Those are the 2 running backs I like watching the most. And then, big quads, and then Marshawn bounces off the tackles and he's just a beast. So that's where I'll be wanting to like quality of.
That's good. Barkley's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's a big play guy and he's pretty good. Okay, what about if you could trade places with somebody for one day, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I can come back to it. One day, it doesn't matter who it is.
Let me see. I'll say all right, I'll go with my team. I'll go with Devontae Adams, wide receiver for the Packers.
Okay. What makes him good?
He's a great wide receiver. Like, I love watching him play. and he's my favorite. He's on my favorite team. So it's like I could switch. I love to switch spots with him for a day, see what he does in a day to get as good as he is, and see like how he's living from day to day, what he's eating, what he's doing. Like, you feel me? Like, yeah.
That's really good. Good. I didn't think about him. The other guys, yeah. Tell me, okay, what I ask this to every guy, every football player I talk to. What drives you? What are words that you live by? Or what in the back of your mind? What do you think about? Like for me, I'm old, but I want to compete. Okay. And I think I want to win. I want to be the best I can be.
Yes, sir.
Leave it on the field. What do you live by? What words do you live by?
I first want to live by my family. I want to make it out for them. I want to be able to take care of them in a couple of years. And then also the haters. Like, it's a lot of people that said I wouldn't be where I am right now. So now it's just driving me like, all right, now look at me. I'm proving it to you. Like, I don't entertain the people that bring me down, but I'm going to show you that I am good. Like, I'm good at what I do.
You know, I think if you ask most guys, now some of them have a stone and some of them have a cement block, but everybody's got a chip on their shoulder to prove how good they can be. Now, you know, some of them are small, big, but I think that's good. A lot of guys do that. Prove people wrong, and it motivates you, I think. Okay, let's go back to football once. What would you do? What would you tell a recruit now that's say as a freshman, sophomore, and he looks like he's got a chance? What would you tell him about the recruiting process?
Oh, I got the great one. It's be patient. As me, I just picked up 5 offers within I think 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I picked up 5 offers. I had 1 offer from Kent State from last June all the way up until January. January was I got Bowling Green. So always be patient. It's going to come someday. And always stay grinding. Like, you never know what opportunity is going to come around. So always stay grinding and stay blessed.
And stay patient. You know, control what you can control, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What's one thing that nobody knows about you?
One thing.
You're going to give it to me today. What's one thing that nobody knows about you?
That's a hard, like a secret, like.
Yeah. Well, let's go. I'll give you a different one. Give you a different one. What was one talent that you'd like to have, but you don't or can't? I mean, so what would you like to be able to do that you can't?
Oh, man.
You're 0 for 2, dog. What's up with that?
I'm 0 for 2, man. That's you getting them with me too quick. It's too fast for me. Let me see. I got you. Hold up. You know, I like to be. It's not. This is a small one. I want to do a backflip. I want to learn how to do backflips. I can't do backflips, and it seems so cool to do them. Like,
that's good.
I want to do.
That's good, Jalen.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will teach you. They watch this and they'll
Hopefully.
say, "I didn't know Jalen couldn't do a backflip."
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish here in a second. Tell me. Let's talk a little bit about recruiting. What do you like about recruiting?
I love talking to the coaches. You know, you learn a lot of stuff about different colleges as in the recruiting process. And then, like, as you build relationships, eventually they start, you know, feeling your family, like, start wanting to have more interest in you. So, like, yeah, that's really all I got for it.
It's building relationships. You know, that's really huge. And I've done this for 30 years, not podcaster new, but I think having relationships are important. So now that if you ever call me and say, "Hey, Mr. McAllister, can you help?" Yeah, I will, because I know you and everything. And I think anytime that it's a two-way street. You with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's one of the worst things about recruiting? Or one of the bad things? Don't make it worse.
It's not. It's going back to the patience, because a coach will start talking, like September 1st is the first day coaches can start talking to you for juniors.
Right.
And a lot of coaches will text your phone, but they will not be like, "Let's pull the trigger. Let's offer you but they might come next 6 months. But like as that time and then, don't get excited for all that. That's probably the worst thing about recruiting. You patient. So I'm impatient. All that just it heats me up. But so you always
and recruiting's a business for those guys, and it's not always an honest business.
Of course, always lies.
Well, thank you very much, Jalen. I hope you appreciated the interview. It's something different, and nobody really asked you those kind of questions, and it was good. I'm glad to know you, and if I can help you, let me know, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jalen.